Traditional programming relies on rigid logic. You cannot easily write an if statement to define a loop because every person draws a loop differently. You could try to account for every possible variation using for loops and edge cases, but the endless permutations of human handwriting quickly overwhelm standard code. A rigid set of top-down computational instructions cannot solve an organic biological problem. Instead, we can design a parameterized mathematical model directly inspired by the layered structure of the brain itself. This is a neural network. Conceptually, it is a massive mathematical function that takes in numerical inputs and processes them through distinct layers of linear transformations and nonlinear activations. To solve fuzzy, difficult-to-reason-about visual problems, we have to stop giving the computer strict instructions and start building it an architecture. Look at this grid. This is a standard 28 by 28 pixel canvas containing a hand-drawn number 3. To a computer, there is no shape here. The network perceives this image strictly through the brightness activation of the individual pixels. We define our baseline values first. A completely unactivated, pure black background pixel equals 0.0. The maximum value, a fully activated pure white pixel in the center of the pen stroke, equals 1.0. The gray edges along the border hold decimal values somewhere between 0 and 1, representing partial activation. Processing a two-dimensional grid sequentially is difficult for a mathematical function. The image must be dismantled. By taking these horizontal rows and stacking them end to end, we create a single continuous line of data. This final structure is our input layer, a distinct mathematical vector containing exactly 784 neurons. The physical, visual world has now been completely stripped of its geometry and translated into a single column of pure numerical data. This diagram shows our 784 input neurons, which serve as the starting point for our architecture. From here, the data passes through two hidden layers, consisting of two columns of 16 neurons each. Finally, the information reaches the last layer of the network, which contains exactly 10 output neurons. These 10 output nodes represent the network's final probabilistic guess, predicting which digit from 0 to 9 we originally drew. We have the input and the output, but that still leaves the question of what work those middle layers are actually performing to turn raw pixels into a final guess. Biologically, recognizing a complex shape requires identifying its smaller structural subcomponents. We can theorize the first hidden layer's job is to detect tiny, distinct features, like short straight edges in specific locations. The second hidden layer can then take those isolated edges and combine them into larger recognizable patterns, like full loops or long vertical lines. The overwhelming task of image recognition is solved by structurally isolating the problem across these distinct layers of abstraction. Let's isolate a single neuron in the first hidden layer to observe exactly how it detects a specific edge. There are 784 individual data connections feeding directly into this single neuron from the input layer. Each of these connections is assigned a weight. These are simply numerical multipliers that determine how strongly a specific input pixel influences our neuron. If we take these 784 weights and arrange them back into a 28 by 28 grid, they act as a geographical mask over the original input. Positive weights reward activated pixels. If an incoming pixel is bright and its weight is positive, multiplying them creates a strong signal. We arrange our positive weights to target a specific feature, like a vertical edge in the canvas center, but this creates a mathematical flaw. If we only use positive weights, a solid white image still triggers a massive reaction, creating a false positive. To fix this, we introduce negative weights. When a bright pixel multiplies against a negative weight, it generates a penalty, canceling the activation. By wrapping negative weights around positive ones, we ensure the neuron fires only on an isolated edge surrounded by darkness. The neuron takes the grand sum of all 784 weighted pixel multiplications. We add an additional number called a bias. This negative activation threshold pulls the sum down, preventing the neuron from firing on weak or ambiguous signals. The individual neuron is not consciously thinking, it is merely executing a spatial geometric filter using localized brute force arithmetic. The raw output of our weighted sum and bias could result in any extreme number on the infinite number line. But to behave like a biological neuron, this wild numerical output must be strictly compressed back into a tidy range between 0 and 1. This graph plots the sigmoid function. It is a classic mathematical tool used for squishing the number line, mapping wildly distributed inputs upward onto a smooth S-curve, bounding them strictly between 0 and 1 on the y-axis. Sigmoid effortlessly forces highly negative inputs toward 0 and highly positive inputs toward 1. However, Sigmoid has a professional drawback. Notice the extreme flatness at the ends of the curve. This lack of slope destroys the variance needed to measure change during training. Today, the standard is a mathematically simpler tool called ReLU, or Rectified Linear Unit. ReLU simply outputs 0 for negative inputs, but maintains a constant, measurable slope for positive inputs, completely avoiding the flattening problem. Applying these nonlinear activation functions is an absolute mathematical necessity. If we just passed raw linear outputs from layer to layer, the entire multi-layered network would mathematically simplify down into one useless linear transformation. By introducing these nonlinearities, the network gains the ability to model the complex, staggered relationships found in actual data. Everything we've calculated so far, the 784 weights, the bias, and the activation function, was just to configure one single neuron. If we multiply that complexity out, connecting the 784 input pixels to the 16 hidden neurons requires over 12,000 distinct weights. When you tally up all the weights and biases across all 4 layers, you arrive at the staggering final count of 13,002 parameters. Attempting to calculate 13,002 algebraic equations sequentially is far too slow for modern computing. This diagram shows how we use matrix vector multiplication to solve this. It's an elegant mathematical trick, computing an entire layer's activations simultaneously. We define A0 as the vector holding all 784 input activations. Next, we define W as the massive matrix holding all weights for that transition. We define B as the vector for biases. Finally, we wrap it in our nonlinear function to reveal the compact expression. A1 equals sigma of W times A0 plus B. The sprawling, biological chaos of a neural network is ultimately just an immensely dense, parallelized linear algebra equation. Our architecture is completely built, but it is currently an empty vessel. Those 13,002 parameters are totally uncalibrated. Attempting to sit down and hand code 13,002 distinct weights and biases to perfectly parse messy handwriting is a mathematical impossibility. This is where machine learning actually begins. The goal is to design a system where the computer leverages calculus to autonomously discover those 13,002 values simply by looking at data. We have deduced the structure of the brain's hardware, but making it intelligent requires the mathematics of gradient descent.